Well, this false ideology that the current governor and a lot of his fellow legislators have bought into we know it's malarkey. We know it's a hoax. We need carbon dioxide to live, and roughly about 0.04% of our atmosphere that we're sitting in right now is carbon dioxide. It's We need it for plant growth. You know, the more carbon dioxide we have, the less water we need. Those kind of things. Once we get below a certain level of about 0.022 or whatever it is, people start dying. Things start dying, and we need it. So I think people have bought into this climate change hoax, and it's just a false narrative all the way across the board.
All right, so let's hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You heard me go on and on and on about how I'm irritated that I don't hear any specifics. What are you going to do?
Well, one of the first things I want to do with energy, there's a few bills I want repealed right up front. But first and foremost is HB 200. It came out in 2020, and it basically mandated this carbon capture technology to be put on coal-fired power plants. And
Wait a minute. So we have a carbon capture law in Wyoming.
we do. Came out in 2020. This is all part of the governor's net negative. You know, when he was trying to decarbonize the West here in the Western Governors Association when he chaired it. And regrettably, people have bought into this. A lot of our legislators bought into it, and they passed this. They passed this bill. It was signed into law in 2020. And what it did is it mandated that coal-fired power plants implement this technology to reduce the carbon footprint, basically carbon emissions, and to capture those reliable energy, those kind of things. The problem is what we've seen. I mean, the proof is in the numbers. Look at our GDP. Our GDP is 0.7%. The national average is 2.4%. The state runs on energy. We export almost 80% of our energy, and nobody in this state, really, I want our energy cost per person in this state to be at or near zero because we produce so much. But what this has done is they allowed the power companies, whatever one it is, to basically allow power bill increases for the the people to actually pay for this. So we've seen up to nearly 30% increases in our power bills, and this is a blue collar retirement state. So, it's just inexcusable what's gone on. I think this has stifled our economy in a huge way, and I want it repealed. That's why we got to get the right legislators in there. We've got to, because I'm going to call for it right away. We got to make sure that Ken gets in there. All these, Tony Locke, all these other good ones around the state actually get in there to repeal this thing, and make this happen.
I think that's an excellent plan. Yeah. I mean, it is absolutely offensive to me that we are the number one energy producer in the country, and yet we have policies, laws in place that absolutely hamper that industry. I mean, I find that absolutely horrendous.
So you mentioned getting good legislators in there.
That's right.
Before you even did that, I started pulling up the digest on that particular bill.
That's right.
And
look at whose name is listed
It is
first.
interesting to look at the names and see who is on what side. And you go down through the digest, and it doesn't change much. There were some stalwart conservatives, and Mike Ian, who said no. I'm not sure what Mike Ian's reason was. But,
I don't either.
But yeah, it takes the right butts in the right seats to make something happen.
Now, I just played a video of where a candidate was talking about energy, and he's from Campbell County. He knows. And look, Ken, put that back up there for a minute. Oh, there it is. Eric Barlow. First on the list.
That's right.
All right. So we repeal this, then what happens?
Well, then I think we should see right away energy costs starting to come down in the state because that requirement will come off. And this is one of those things that it had to be looked at every 2 years, starting in 2023, 2025, in perpetuity, really. And I think that the one thing I do want to do is I want to go back to the table and renegotiate our mineral royalties. Right now we get 48%, the Fed gets 52%. I want to go right to the table and at least go for 50-50, if not more. My objective would be a 60-40 split, but at an absolute minimum, we need to go 50-50 on this. And which, case in point, with that Montana judge that just recently ruled that all these leases are null and void.
Yeah.
I will tell you right now that as governor, there is no way we're paying back that $50 million. We're just not going to. If the Fed wants to subtract that from future, money's coming into the state, they can do it, but we're not paying it back. Obviously, we'll appeal it, and but this is the kind of overreach that we keep succumbing to. And I always look back at Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, all the enumerated authorities, the 17 enumerated authorities that give, those are the authorities that Congress has. And of course, you have the 10th Amendment, which anything not covered in there, the state has, and then naturally you have the Supremacy Clause. But, bottom line is these activist judges, and of course, with FLTMA, the Federal Lands Planning and Management Act, that needs to be put back in the box again, because that's governing almost all of these all these frivolous lawsuits out there, and it's empowering the NGOs, the nonprofits, to go out and shop for judges around the nation. And once they find one, they keep going back, kind of like this fellow up in Montana. They keep going back to them, and it's all about shutting down our energy production. It's these people who bought into this climate change agenda, and we've got a generation, if not two, who have been lied to for so long that when they finally hear the truth about carbon dioxide and all these other things that we need, that they refuse to believe it because they've been lied to for so long. So that's one of the issues too, is that I want to do right away, is start changing these narratives.